Well, good morning. It is Saturday morning. The weather here in Iowa is just really throwing me for a loop these past few weeks. We've gone from literally sub-zero temperatures to many inches of snow to now it's got a kind of a March feel to it. I don't know. It's been an odd year. Um, an odd early winter season. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. That's a good cup of Joe. Maybe one more. Ooh, a little hot. So, got a lot that I want to get done today, and I don't know how far I'll get. Number one on my list is I have got to tidy up the shop here. It is just, I've got tools and stuff everywhere. And another thing is, I need to fix that door on that cupboard. It fell off the other day. It might have something to do with me hitting my head on it. And no, it did not knock any more sense into me. We're in the middle of a project, and I've torn 10,000 little parts and pieces off of this entire vehicle. And so they're pack ratted everywhere. So you're kind of stuck with that until you start putting pieces back on. I'd also like to get this front end finished up, getting it torn down and tore apart. So that way I can move a little bit quicker. Well, not quicker, but feel a little bit more confident, I guess, in moving into getting this frame cleaned up. And then we can go into, once we get that hill climbed, then we can start moving into what, in my opinion, is a little bit more enjoyable, which is the painting and the putting pieces back on it and stuff like that. But in order to do that, I need to go get a different wrench. So my morning will probably be consumed with running errands, as it usually is on a Saturday. But that's life. That's part of being a dad and a parent and doing those types of things. With all that being said, I've got a pretty tall list of things I want to get done. I also want to go get a haircut. Because you got to do that sometimes. Because this is starting to get pretty shaggy up here. It's I'm using more shampoo than I'm used to. But I think we're going to have a good day. I am, after all, sporting one of my new flannels that I got for Christmas. And it's quite nice. I do enjoy it. Dare I say it, makes me look even more handsome. I know. I don't believe it either, but it is possible. All right. Well, we got good news. First of all, I got a haircut. I know. New shirt and a haircut. Oh, I'm going to have to start carrying around a big stick just to beat the ladies off, The good news is, too, I got a wrench. And so I had to borrow this one. I went to go buy one because, a guy doesn't like to have tools that he needs. Doesn't like to not have the tools that he needs. So I called my old man, and he had an 1 1/8" box-in wrench. because I went to go buy one, and these are a little bit more expensive than I wanted to buy them for. And if you're like me, you're cheap. And I know I've seen lots of wrenches at garage sales, it's stuck here, in farm sales and stuff like that. So I'll have to keep my eye open for bigger wrenches in the future. And then I found out that my pop had the right size. So, anyways, let's see if we can take this, get that stud out of there. Now, before I left, I sprayed it down with some penetrant lubrication. Well, how's this gonna? Well, there we go. Oh my gosh! I don't want to. I don't want to pull the frame off of the jacks. So let me see if I can. Oh, there it goes. We have movement. Not a lot. Boy, oh boy, that is in there, boys and girls. Well, I can tell you right now, a couple things are going to have to happen. First of all, I got to take my vest off here. We're going to have to roll up the sleeves. Did you know there's a couple different methods for rolling up your sleeves? You can do the half fold where you just fold it over the cuff, or you can do the cool way. I call it the full fold. You know, do it like that. Okay, are we done? Are we done goofing around here? Are we ready? Let's do something. Is it loose enough I can do it just with that? See? Did you see it move? That's what I was afraid of. Play my cards right, I'll have this whole thing down on the floor. It's getting looser. Let's shoot some more WD-40 on that. Water displacement, 40th try. If you know, you know. I'm going to set that on the floor because if I set it on the frame, it's going to fall on the floor anyways, break the straw on the lid. See, is it loose enough that I can... Nope. Let me pull my pants up. I get yelled at by my mom on these videos. Your pants are always falling down. You need to pull them up. She's not wrong. Problem is, I just got Hank Hill syndrome going on. I mean, this is a stubborn guy. It's too bad he can't get a socket on that. Sure hope the microphone is picking up all my grunts. Eh, eh, eh. Ugh. Like that. That was a real one. That wasn't a fake one. Ugh. Oh, good Lord Almighty. Let's see if I can. Maybe, sometimes you work the bolt back and forth and it'll loosen up, work some of that penetrant down in there. There's probably a bunch of crud that I'm dragging up into the threads of that. Well, the microphone decided to go dead on me for a little portion of this coming up. So instead of just completely deleting all the content to interrupt the flow of what's taking place here, I'm just going to add in some music. I do a voiceover on it, but I use Clipchamp to edit, and because it's free and I'm cheap. But yeah, I cannot for the life of me figure out how to do a voiceover on it. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but it's not working for me. Bottom line, so we're just gonna montage through these next few minutes so we don't interrupt the continuity of it, and then you'll be able to hear my melodious voice when it comes back in here in just a minute. So sorry about that. I'll try to get better. I've given this ample time to cool off. So now I got to get this off of here. So let's see. Well, I got to take that bolt out too. I'm just kind of curious. Just kind of curious as to how all this comes apart here. I think it's all just oh, there's bolts there too. Okay. So I got to take those two bolts out. I couldn't see those. Get that spring out of the way. It seems to be a 14. Those came out reasonably well. Oh, there you go. See? Now that's all loose. So that should be loose. We'll put these, oh, for Pete's sakes. Put those back in there so we don't lose them. Will anyways. Now what about this guy back here? Well, that's 1 1/8 inches. So we'll see if Captain Caveman here can get this one off too. Oh yeah. I am so sick and tired of things falling on the floor. Oh, I can tell you what, that don't want to move. I cannot remember what the foot-pound rating is on this one. Doesn't say. It's fairly high. Rigid makes one that's slightly bigger. Ooh. That is in there. So, we're going to use some fire. Yeah. Fire. See if I can set up some Rube Goldberg thing here. Let's see what that does. See if, God, everything, every time I turn around. Might as well put that on the floor. Goofy concoction here to heat that up. We'll let that soak all that heat in for a minute. You want to talk about anything? Religion, politics? Something on fire here? Right, burning that rubber. Yeah. Don't like it. Well, I think that moved something. I don't know what. It did indeed. Let's see. See if Captain Caveman here will get it down the rest of the way. Oops. Here we go. Something is definitely what you want to do when something's on fire is put more stuff on it that'll burn. How do you take that apart? Let me get a pry bar. Well, you know, when all else fails, hit it with a hammer. See? Still not out of there, though. Of course, the effing jack is hitting the other jack and not allowing it to clear because, you know, of reasons. So that go enough now? No. What if I lower this down? Ooh, that's plenty. Maybe. What about now? That hot? Okay. So remember when I go to put that back together that's how I got it apart. I know, I won't remember either. That looks really rusty there. I suppose I'll have to buy new ones of those. So, but what that gives us the ability to do now, if you'd like to step down here, is see there's these two bolts here that need to come out in order to get this center section out. Whoop. So we can pull those bolts out and then all the other bolts that are around the front and dump a whole bunch of grease everywhere. It'll be fun. All right. Well, I had to get old Reliable out. Because I'm going to take some weight off of that jack there, so I can get a pan. Okay, let me rephrase this. I'm taking weight off of the green jack so I can get a drain pan under there so that in the event, which is guaranteed, a whole bunch of crap comes spilling out of that center section when I finally get it loose. We will hopefully have a somewhat semi-controlled mess as opposed to all-out destruction. Shut the garage door now that nothing's on fire. So if memory serves, that is a 14. And then those on the side, that's a big guy. Is it 21? No. Where's my 18? Oh, I'm sure it's on the floor over here somewhere. Is it over here? No, no, no. Maybe that's it. That is indeed an 18, which is not the right size. Boy, when it comes to socket size, you remember when I was complaining about other people complaining about these Danas and how they're not that big a deal? So here's the deal. So when I was complaining about other people complaining, I had only worked on like the Dana 50s. These Dana 44s with the radius arms and coil springs are kind of a pain. It's just there's a lot of stuff going on. So what do you think the chances are I'm going to be able to, let me lower this down a little. To there maybe? Now I got to take off all of these. So what are they? I think there's like 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. 9 of these bolts out of here to drop that center section. We're going to leave the top one in. See, we're going to leave that one in, but I'm going to loosen it up because I want to be able to back it out by hand. So there is no gasket for these. You just, like you can see here, you just really glop it up with room temperature vulcanized rubber, which is actually what RTV stands for. If and you didn't know. So I'll leave that in there and I'll get a pry bar and hopefully we can, that pry bar I was looking for earlier. So let's see if I can pry this out of here. It's letting go. See, and I'm not in a very, okay, I did leave that bolt in. I forgot about that. Oh yeah, we got lots of goop coming out here. Oh yeah, that's all the good stuff. Actually, that fluid, I know you can't see it, but that fluid actually looks really, really good. Maybe somebody has been in here and changed that at one point in time. I figured that was probably not going to happen. So So I wonder where else a guy can pry on this to try to loosen it up. Oh, there it came. Okay, so it's officially broken free. Okay, come on, let go. Oh! So I got it on the floor, and I've got, of course, gear oil everywhere. Because that's just the way it goes. Well, unfortunately, I didn't realize it, but the battery went dead on the camera before I captured getting the driver's side apart. So to bring you up to speed, that's apart. I'm not sure where exactly it cut out, but we got the carrier out of there, and we got the yoke and everything out of there. That side is completely torn down. But the good news is, whoop, we still got this side to do. So everything's charged up, ready to go. I've even gone through Hot Rod TV style and made sure all the bolts are loose so we don't have any drama there. But yeah, so let's get started. Look at that. Bring it out here. So that's loose. That's goose. That one's loose. I want to check the bottom. So I want to run this on the guard. Why not? Also, hurt me. I might have jacket underneath this. Oh, yeah, that's not me. So, here it is. This is a jacket there. Let's not go that way. Let's go this way. Just get a little bit of the weight of the yoke off of there. It was indeed. I bet you that's really hot. So we're not going to touch that. And so that just leaves this back one, which I need my extra long extension. Now, that came off stupid easy, and like I said, I did make sure they were loose. But that one over here, it was, I think I did 2 duck-a-ducks on it initially, and it came loose. So I don't know if that's a good thing, bad thing. I don't know. I didn't even have to put any heat on it. Now we'll see if we can get these little parts and pieces out of here. All kinds of fun parts in there. Those are Ford part numbers. So you know what that means? That means it's probably never been touched. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Should be able to get that spring out of there now. We'll set that right here so I can trip over it later. And then this should come off, which it does. I'll set that there. Now we got to get that bad boy off. Oh, and it was fun last time. I don't know. Do I just beat the rush and heat it up right now? Heat it up. It's going to be hotter than the dickens. is the dickens? Why is it hot? Or cold? Could it be colder than the dickens? I don't know. Whee! Try to get this set up so I don't have to hold it. Oh, there. Did you see that? That just moved. So you do realize that this kind of confirms my theory I made in a previous video that things on the driver's side are rusted worse than the passenger side simply because of the splash from oncoming vehicles. Because I mean, you guys saw how much I fought that. This side we're already doing stuff. Did I heat that other side? I can't remember. I mean, I will remember when I'm editing this because I would have already watched it and included it. Ooh, that is hot. When you touch that sensitive little part underneath your wrist there, she's warm. You'd think that all the smoke rolling off of this would be a good mental indication to me that it's hot. Don't touch it. But I'm an idiot. The longest threads ever. You ever seen those videos of the guys in Pakistan that work on vehicles? Holy cow, some of the stuff they do crazy. I was just sitting here thinking, I was like, God, it sucks that I got to do this with an open end wrench. I can't fit a power tool on there. But them guys do everything with like 2 wrenches that are older than the Mayflower, and everything else they do with handmade tools, and it's crazy to see what they do. Now, I'm not going to touch that. It's loose. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to take this pair of pliers right here, and I'm going to grab it out of there with that. Not quite ready, are you? There you go. Well, that came out way easier and way better than I would have thought. It's still warm. Look at that. 1 radius arm. Actually, that's number 2. Okay, so let's see. Here we go again, Ford. It's not an 18, even though it was on the other one. God almighty. Just ridiculous the way they do this. I'll just use the universal. Oop, okay, trip and fall. I'm going to use the universal wrench here. See if I can't get it in there blind. I guess that's all it took. Okay, that yoke should come out of there. I just dropped something. I don't know what it was. That's still probably 7,000 degrees. Only 2,000. I'll use this rag. Okay. There you go. Well, we've kind of reached another milestone here. With getting that removed, our frame is torn down. So that unfortunately means for me, no more excuses about getting this frame cleaned up. But that's fine. That's good. I'm happy about that. And I will say this much. Being as this is the first time I have ever been into one of these Bronco half-ton front ends, I can see why people don't like them. I still like them. I don't see anything that's any more complex here than, a more modern day front end for a four-wheel drive. It's just you have a full floating or I guess would that be? That's not a floating axle. Those are, well, yeah, it kind of is. That is a full floating axle, isn't it? With half shafts, and it's not that big a deal. The biggest pain for me was, well, it's always getting the right size sockets and stuff like that. But anyways, I can see why they do kind of have that reputation. And like I said, I've never taken apart a half-ton one with radius arms. Everything I've ever worked on has been bigger. With the leaf springs, and those come apart a little bit easier, I think. There's not quite so many components fitting in to each other. You have a leaf spring and the axles. That's it. But like I said, this wasn't bad. So I'm going to close this video here. Like I said, we got quite a bit done. And keep in mind, too, I do a lot of stuff off camera, especially when it comes to this cleanup stuff. You guys don't need to suffer through that with me. Anyways, that's where we're at. I'm pretty happy with where we got. I'll probably come out after supper and clean up some more parts with the sandblaster. And we'll be back out here tomorrow. So yeah, I appreciate everybody watching, liking, subscribing. I am gaining subscribers, so I appreciate. I do appreciate everybody that does subscribe, likes, comments, and watches these videos. So I'll catch you on the next one.